We got a 10-4 on the Blue Notebook podcast over.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to this week's Blue Notebook Review. My name is Sergeant Rick with the San Marcos Police Department, and I'm here today to guide you through the week of September 21st to the 27th. As always, let's dive into the numbers. We responded to 2,504 calls for service this past week, leading us to just about 91,000 calls year to date, which is a decrease of about 7,500 calls from last year. We made 82 arrests, which is slightly higher than the week before. This is interesting. So normally I wouldn't respond to comments until the end, but our Vartan made an observation that was worth looking into. He said, "You seem to gloss over the almost 50% increase in calls related to homeless in the first segment." So let's get the camera on me. So I ran over to our help team sergeant's his office, and I showed him the numbers. I showed him your comment, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on with these numbers? Why is it so much higher this year than the previous year?" I mean, obviously, right, we're going to go through ebbs and flows, but not to like that drastic number. And he told me, he said it first has to do with our new system capturing data more accurately than the previous year, coupled with an increase in our proactive outreach, both for services and for enforcement. So it doesn't mean that we received the 50%. I mean, it's 39%. The numbers from last week and then this week. So it's a 39% increase. But it doesn't mean that there's 39% more calls for service. A lot of that has to do with being proactive and going out there before they become radio calls from the public. But it's also for the outreach. We've been really increasing our outreach, both with Samuel Bridge and Project Homecoming. So we're just making more contacts. And each time we contact a person out in the field, it gets documented as a call for service. So those two things combined, I guess those three things combined together is why there's a 39% increase for the numbers of this year than last year. I mean, hopefully that shows that we take your comments and your questions seriously. And if I don't know the answer, I'll just go to the subject matter expert and ask them, and then they'll tell me. And then in turn, I tell you. All right, let's get back into it. In the 2200 block of Ocean Avenue, an ALPR, which is an automatic license plate reader, camera notified the officers that a parked and occupied vehicle had a felony want on the license plate out of Kern County for an attempted murder. Happy to say the officers arrested the suspect. And we actually found that body cam of the arrest. I'll show you in just a few minutes. But subject went into Lululemon and filled 2 backpacks worth of merchandise. Officers located the subject and after a foot pursuit, took him into custody. Turns out he had a felony warrant out of Ventura County for grand theft. And then during a multi-unit operation, officers arrested a male for an outstanding rape warrant out of our city. Happy to know he's behind bars and unable to hurt anyone else. Our CIT, DART, and DSU conducted another joint operation and made 3 felony arrests and 5 misdemeanor arrests. I couldn't be more proud of the officers out there and the work that they're doing day and night to make sure our community is safer. I want to actually acknowledge our DART team who made 17 arrests and issued 8 citations last week. I mean, there's only 3 officers assigned to DART. So all these numbers that you're seeing, the multiple arrests, the great arrests that they're doing, it's just from 3 guys. So Danny, Carlos, Brian, I really appreciate the work you're doing out there. Keep it up. You guys are really making a difference. And I know our community sees it and we see it here. So thank you and keep it up. It looks like now I'm getting a report that we have some breaking news. Our drone's overhead, monitoring an assault with a deadly weapon incident. Pete, can you tell us what's going on?
Thanks, Sarge. We're currently overhead the 1400 block of Palisades Park. That individual you see in the center there on a bike, a couple of minutes prior to this, had hit someone smashing a guitar over their head. And now that individual is wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. And officers have arrived. They're trying to corral him. He's obviously trying to get away on that bike, and he's ditching that, running from them. That's him running northbound. That's PCH down below, and they're chasing him southbound. And hopefully we'll get him into custody, but he's definitely putting up a good chase. Coming back around, he's now on the other side. That's the senior center. They're trying to contact him now, but he's using that other bystander there as sort of a shield to prevent them taking him into custody. And he's off again, now southbound. Passing again by that senior center. And you can see the officers on the radio there. They're reaching out for additional help to try and get this individual contained. And he is jumping the fence. He's going down. That road is Mumatahiko, and that feeds PCH. He just went down hard there. You see the officers are wisely stopping at the top of the ramp there and just trying to keep an eye on him. He's going to be crossing PCH. Extremely dangerous there. Those vehicles are coming out of the McClure Tunnel there at about 45, 50 miles an hour. And looks like he's got a little bit of a limp there from that fall. He's crossed northbound PCH and he's dodging cars. He made it, got across PCH. That's one of the beach lots there. He's heading towards the sand. That's the 1500 block of the beach. So he's crossing over Oceanfront Walk, the boardwalk, and the bike path, heading out over the sand. And the reason the officers aren't directly behind him is that it's completely unsafe for them to try and pursue him in that manner. We have the drone overhead. We're able to keep eyes on him. We can bring additional officers in and keep everyone safe.
And Pete, do you know if the suspect knows that there's a drone overhead?
No, he should have no idea, especially in this area. We're pretty high. We're about 350 feet over him, and with all the ambient noise, unless he just had a really lucky shot and happened to see it, he won't be able to hear it while he's down there on the beach. And that's a huge advantage for us because it gets them to hunker down, try and find some place to hide, and they won't know that we have obs on him. He just flopped down there again on the beach, and I'm getting word that officers are approaching from the beach lots. They came around in a vehicle, and looks like he's going under a blanket trying to hide.
So Pete, as a drone operator, are you updating the officers as to what's going on? Are you giving them details that you're seeing or the location of the suspect?
Absolutely. So that allows them to focus on the task. I can keep them updated on the suspect's actions. Does he have any potential weapons? Where is he currently hiding? We don't have to set up a large perimeter because obviously we have eyes on it, and I can communicate that to the officers on the ground. And we have two officers coming down from the lower right-hand corner of the screen there. You'll see two officers walking out. They know exactly where he is. We're not having to search for him. You can see he's trying to cover up a little bit, and they'll probably just tell him to cut it out and come out from under that sheet. And they've contacted him. You can see his hands are out. He's given up, and this should be a successful conclusion to this. A couple more officers are contacting him, and I think he's had enough for one day. So they've got him at looks like a taser point, just so they're safe in their approach and contact. And they'll be taking him into custody. So it looks like that was a successful detainment. He did not appear to be resisting. I think from that long run, he'd clearly had enough. But they were able to successfully and safely bring him into custody for assault with a deadly weapon.
Thanks, Pete. I'm happy to hear our officers are safe and the suspect was apprehended. Now let's go into our efforts for addressing homelessness. Our help team has made over 130 self-initiated contacts last week. They addressed 16 encampments and referred 6 individuals to Samuel Bridge. They also worked with our fire department to discuss the launch of an advanced provider unit, which includes a paramedic nurse team designed to reduce hospital burdens and potentially manage jail medical clearances. As we continually try to provide additional information, here we can see the breakdown of the city where our help officers focus on several hotspots throughout Santa Monica. Looks like they focus on Virginia Avenue Park, the beach parks, the beach, east and west corridors, and Tongva Park. They also joined up with hosts again to clear out large encampments in the 800 block of the beach. So thank you guys for your work. As promised, here's that footage that I was talking about when our officers arrested that attempted murder suspect from Kern County. What they're doing here is just calling away from his van into their control where they can apprehend him safely and put him behind bars. So as we continue our efforts on traffic safety throughout the city, our officers conducted over 160 traffic stops, issuing 89 citations, made 4 arrests, and issued 64 advisals. As part of the 89 citations, 12 were for speeding. Look, as we covered this a few weeks ago. Traffic's unpredictable. But if you just leave a little earlier, then you won't have that need to have to speed up and drive recklessly. I mean, yeah, get a ticket, but even worse than that, putting someone's life in jeopardy because you're running late for something that could easily been avoidable. Just slow down. Slow down, pay attention when you're out there driving. Life's too short as it is without you trying to speed it up. I've talked about our efforts in the community and youth engagement, but this time I want to thank our community for recognizing us at Douglas Day, where our mayor presented our chief and officers with a plaque of appreciation for our efforts during the Palisades fire. I mean, could be more proud of our officers and of you, our community. It's nice to know that when times are tough, we all come together. Put all our differences aside, come together and take care of each other. So on behalf of our chief and us, I mean, thank you, Santa Monica. We thank you for allowing us to serve you. And now, my favorite segment, Pet of the Week. So we had Jojo the dog, we had Selena the cat, and now we have Patches and Spoons. These are brothers. They're guinea pig brothers. They've been in our shelter since September 20th, and we don't know how old they are. But we've had them in our office here for a few hours, and they're pretty mild-mannered. I know some of our officers had picked them up and held them, and we've been feeding them these freeze-dried strawberries, which I'm told is their favorite. And they are ready for adoption for a forever home. If you go down to our shelter, I'll put the address down below, and then put the phone number so you can call and make sure they're still available for adoption. But if you happen to be watching this and you do adopt one of our pets of the week, let us know. Bring your pet. I'll meet you at coffee. I'll buy you a coffee, and I'll buy your pet a pup cup. And I'll give you some swag also. All right. Patches, Spoons. Good luck, brothers. I hope you find your forever home. And with that, let's get into the rest of our comments and questions, shall we? From Diegoveles 736, bunch of hearts. Right back at you. I think the kids now do this. And then they do something else that I'm not even going to attempt to do on camera. But they manipulate their fingers pretty weirdly. California Vibes, send me this one. You talking about send you the videos? Can we do that? I mean, I don't know, like, I'm not talking about legality-wise. Just, it's a pretty big file. Probably just screen record, to be quite honest. It's twice. Arvartin 2. Oh, we covered this one earlier. But again, like, thank you for pointing things out. And again, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find out. From Original JP. This isn't live. Yeah, you made reference to our to last week's video. Thank you for another Blue Notebook review, RV and San Monica team. You're welcome. Original JP, was it? Oh man, I'm trying to remember. Was it you that mentioned you wanted additional traffic enforcement on the north side? If it wasn't you, I think it was you. But if it wasn't you, there definitely was a comment about it. And then I was exiting the elevator yesterday, and a motor actually approached me. He's like, hey, I saw the Blue Notebook. I saw that guy's comment, and we will go over there and focus on the north side. So it worked. So, Original JP, if that was you, there you go. If not, mystery person, there you go. From Hododo, Romeo and Juliet Shakespeare. And Forever Glam also guessed Shakespeare. You're right. That's where the quote was from. So good. Glad you guys got that. And then Forever Glam, someone to cuddle with. Is this statement only for the cats asking for a friend? Well, no. You can do Spoons and Patches also. They were actually really sweet. So, again, if you happen to adopt one of our pets of the week, let us know in the comments. I'll buy you coffee. I'll buy your pet a pup cup. and give you some swag. And that, my friends, concludes this week's Blue Notebook review. I'll leave you with an easy one. I'll be back. See you guys.